Dr. Gilson, from your experience, is the carfentanil also coming through the mail system?
I think, this is, again, partly what I can tell you from death scenes and partly what I can glean from the collaborations we have with particularly Drug Enforcement Agency. Yes, the answer to that, my investigators by happenstance will sometimes identify records, packaging that clearly show that these drugs are coming from overseas. And the concept that a lot of these drugs are coming from China is something that our DEA liaisons completely support. The idea, too, that one of the senators mentioned it earlier, maybe they come to this country and then get routed into Mexico, I think is also true, because in the heroin epidemic, the Mexican production went up dramatically to the point where they became the second largest heroin producer in the world. That distribution system is definitely in place, and I think fentanyl can follow the same distribution system. So I do think that these are drugs that are coming from overseas, primarily from China, and being sold in our country, really almost on a basis that could be considered an act of terrorism.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting comment, given what we said earlier about and what Mr. Botticelli said with regard to the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, listing it this year for the first time ever, last month in his world assessment. He put synthetic opioids into in a national security context. Senator Peters.